Welcome to Central Global News. In this podcast, you can catch up with world news with our short summaries every week. This week, we're focusing on the continuing protests in Myanmar, strict COVID measures in New Zealand, and trials investigating the effects of COVID vaccines in children. Protesters in Myanmar have been warned with up to 20-year-long prison sentences by the military. Hundreds of thousands of people are demonstrating in the Southeast Asian country demanding the restoration of democracy and the release of former political leader Aung San Suu Kyi from detention. Demonstrations against the military coup are continuing despite efforts from the military to keep people from protesting. New amendments to the penal code have been posted on the military's website with stricter punishments. These set out a 20-year prison term for inciting hatred of the government or the military or hindering the security forces in preserving state stability. The country experienced an 8-hour internet blackout until 9 a.m. this morning. Today, extra troops appeared on the streets of many cities and army vehicles are patrolling in order to keep people from taking part in the protests. Use of violence during the demonstrations has been limited. However, on Sunday, police opened fire at protesters at a power plant in northern Myanmar. It is not yet clear if they were using rubber bullets or live fire. A 3-day lockdown is introduced in Auckland, New Zealand, starting from today, after 3 members of a family tested positive for COVID-19. The new ban of non-essential movement affects 1.6 million people, but the rest of the country is also facing stricter restrictions than before, which include mandatory face masks on public transport and limits on mass gatherings. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said genomic testing has found the cases to be the more transmissible UK variant of COVID, so the government is taking a cautionary approach. The country has participated in a 51-day-long nationwide lockdown last year, which resulted in the elimination of coronavirus. Since then, this is the second time emergency measures have been introduced in Auckland. Health authorities are currently working on gaining a detailed picture of the virus's spread and locating the source of the infections. The results of the research will determine whether the lockdown will extend beyond midnight on Wednesday or people can return to their usual way of life. The Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine was set out to be tested on children. A new trial with 300 volunteers will take part in February, focusing on the coronavirus vaccine's effects on children aged between 6 and 17. Although children are unlikely to be strongly affected by COVID, there is evidence that the virus can cause severe illness and death in case of children as well. British researchers said there could be licensed children's vaccines that are safe and effective against the virus by the end of the year. That's it for this week's podcast. Thank you for listening.